Lila and Mara were inseparable. They had been best friends since kindergarten, even though they were complete opposites. Lila was sweet, soft-spoken, and always wore pastel dresses. Mara, on the other hand, was tough, sarcastic, and lived in ripped jeans and leather jackets. They made a promise under the old oak tree in Lila's backyard. No matter what, we'll always be together. But promises are easier to make than to keep. It all started when Ethan transferred to their school. He was the kind of guy who turned heads, tall, with messy dark hair and a smile that could melt ice. Lila noticed him first. She blushed every time he walked by, her heart fluttering like a trapped bird. Mara noticed too, but she rolled her eyes and called him just another pretty boy. Until she didn't. One day, Mara caught Ethan's eye in the hallway. He smirked at her, and something inside her shifted. She started laughing at his jokes, sitting next to him at lunch, and even, much to Lila's horror, flirting with him. Lila tried to ignore it at first, but the tension between the two friends grew thicker with each passing day. "You don't even like him," Lila said one afternoon, her voice trembling. "You're just doing this to hurt me." Mara crossed her arms, her expression cold. "Maybe I do like him. Maybe I'm tired of always being the mean one while you get to be the perfect little princess." The fight escalated. They stopped talking, stopped hanging out. The oak tree in Lila's backyard stood silent, a witness to their broken promise. Then came the night of the storm. Lila couldn't take it anymore. She confronted Mara at the old tree, rain pouring down around them. The wind howled and lightning split the sky. "You're ruining everything," Lila screamed, her voice barely audible over the storm. "Why can't you just let me be happy?" Mara stepped closer, her eyes blazing. "Happy? You think you're the only one who deserves to be happy? You've always had everything, Ethan, friends, everyone loves you. What about me?" Their words turned to shoves, and soon they were grappling in the mud, their hands clawing at each other. Lila's dress was torn, Mara's jacket soaked. They were both screaming, crying, but neither would let go. Then, in a flash of lightning, Mara grabbed a rock from the ground. Lila's eyes widened in terror as Mara raised it above her head. "I'm tired of sharing," Mara hissed. "I'm tired of you." But just as she brought the rock down, Lila lunged forward, tackling her to the ground. They rolled in the mud, each fighting for control. Finally, Mara pinned Lila down, the rock still clutched in her hand. "It's over," Mara said, her voice eerily calm. "You're done." Lila stared up at her, tears mixing with the rain. "Mara, please." Mara hesitated. For a moment, it looked like she might lower the rock. But then her expression hardened, and she brought it down. And stopped. Her hands trembled. The rock fell to the ground. Mara stumbled back, clutching her head as if in pain. What's happening?" she whispered. Lila sat up, her face pale. "Mara." Mara looked at her, her eyes wide with confusion. "Lila. I didn't mean to." And then it hit her. The memories. The fights. The promises. The way they were always together, but never seen apart. The way no one ever talked to them at the same time. Mara looked down at her hands, then at Lila. We're the same person." Lila's breath caught. "No, that's not possible." But it was. The storm, the fight, the realization, it all came crashing down. Lila and Mara weren't two girls. They were one. A girl with a split personality, torn between kindness and anger, sweetness and toughness. Mara reached out, her hand trembling. I'm sorry." Lila took her hand, tears streaming down her face. "Me too." And as the storm raged on, the two halves of the same person finally came together. The oak tree stood silent, its branches swaying in the wind, as the girl who was both Lila and Mara walked home, whole for the first time. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that Mara was still there, waiting, watching. And maybe, just maybe, she always would be.